Godzilla 65 this year. The original movie came out in 1954. The new Godzilla movie's coming out. It looks amazing. I can't wait. Everybody loves Godzilla. Who doesn't like Godzilla? He's done everything. Godzilla has done and been everywhere in 65 years. He's been to space. He's been to hell. He's fought King Kong. He's going to fight King Kong again in 2020. He's fought the Avengers. He's been dunked on by Charles Barkley. And most importantly, he's been on the Dreamcast. Now, this was one of the launch titles for the Dreamcast in Japan in November 1998. It was actually well received at the Tokyo Game Show that year. People were excited, and then it came out, and everybody hated it. People considered it boring, the camera's horrible, the controls are really bad and bland. But I figured, because the new movie's coming out so soon, that we take a look at it and see for ourselves exactly how bad it is. So you start with two characters, Godzilla and Showa Mechagodzilla. For some weird reason, even though it's Showa Mechagodzilla from Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla and Terror of Mechagodzilla, they gave him Heisei Mechagodzilla's Roar from Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2, but whatever. Now you can unlock characters in this game. Each subsequent playthrough with each character unlocks a different one. Original Godzilla from 1954 is available. Manila, who for whatever reason uses Baby Godzilla's Roar. Godzilla from the 1998 Roland Emmerich Godzilla movie. You know, the one with Matthew Broderick that isn't a bad movie, it just really doesn't have much to do with Godzilla. He's also called Zilla in Godzilla Final Wars, and I've also heard him called Gyno before, which apparently stands for Godzilla in name only. So fun fact, even though this design is not well liked, and Toho didn't have any input with creating it, they actually gave it their blessing and signed off on it. Pretty crazy, but not as crazy as the most ridiculous character in the game, which is a gigantic Dr. Serizawa who uses the oxygen destroyer he developed in the first movie to destroy Godzilla. So the game's broken up into 5 levels. Each of those levels has a few stages. They're all based on real Japanese cities like Fukuoka, Osaka, Tokyo, things like that. The whole game is just going through each stage, destroying buildings and trees and fighting generic military units like Maser tanks, and every once in a while you get one of the Super X ships. You're better off just kind of starting and stopping your walking and just having the planes run into you, because they do that, and it's the easiest way to knock them out of the sky, I found. But that's it. There's no monsters to fight, it's just this. You swipe your tail with the triggers, you walk into buildings to knock them over, which damages you, by the way. Every character has a projectile, but good luck using it with any sort of precision. Forget hitting military units with it, the changing camera angles just fucks up your aim constantly. You're better off just destroying buildings with it. Some characters like Manila and Zilla have charge attacks. This actually makes them some of the best characters to play as because it actually speeds up the gameplay a little bit. Every character has a block attack, but it's so slow, you'll never block anything. And it's completely pointless, since you could just hit the Y button to restore a quarter of your health. Unlimited times, by the way. There's no restrictions on the number of times you could just heal your life bar. So why even have the block button? Godzilla never blocks shit from the military in the movies anyway. He just eats it. Alright, so you destroy buildings enough to fill your quota, and then you time out by going out of bounds, and that's it. You're basically done with the level. Or, if you're a complete masochist, you can destroy 100% of everything for the high score, and then time out, and that's it. That's the whole meat of the game. Great, I died. Whatever, let's go to the main menu. Ah, fuck. What's with these fucking load screens? Seriously. The first time I played this, I almost shit myself. They're so loud and so jarring. Who playtested this and said, great, awesome load screen, perfect? Now, there is a time attack mode, which is exactly the same as the regular game, except instead of having a time limit to fill your quota, you just try to fill your quota as fast as possible. That's it. There's really nothing else I can say about time attack mode. I didn't even record any footage for it. It's just the exact same game, except the rules for the time are different. It's stupid. I don't know why it's even here. The game is boring enough as it is. So the third option, which I couldn't get to work, to be perfectly honest, is called the Collected Coliseum. If you had the special, sold separately, Godzilla VMU, it has a special mini-game on it that lets you kind of play this like Tamagotchi or Digimon type thing. You hatch eggs and you can battle and train and trade and all this other sort of stuff. If you connect it to Godzilla Generations on the Dreamcast, there's actually a few features. You can play it like some sort of rudimentary derivative of Pokemon Stadium with somehow worse controls. Overall, this memory card's actually pretty cool. It's got the Godzilla 1998 movie lettering, so it was obviously intended as a promotional tie-in. Mine has this plastic lid, like every VMU, but mine's melted, probably from some Japanese guy's cigarette. They love smoking over there, I don't know. So the interesting thing about this memory card, though, is that you must have this particular memory card to play that minigame and access the features on Godzilla Generations. It's not like other VMU minigames, so typically what you would have to do is you would have a VMU for saving your games, and if you play something like Power Stone or Skies of Arcadia or Sonic Adventure, you download the minigame onto your memory card, and then you play the minigame once the console is powered off. The minigame for this VMU is actually built into the VMU from the start. If you don't have this VMU, you cannot play that minigame, bottom line. There were actually a few other releases like this. They advertised them as Tamagotchi's first and VMU's sort of second. There was one for Mothra called Mothra Dream Battle. There was even one for Gamera as well. Yeah, they basically sold them as virtual pets that just happened to function like Dreamcast memory cards. So that's pretty unique. So in my opinion, the best part of the game is actually the Generations Theater. So every time you beat the game and beat levels and things like that, you unlock movie trailers from old Godzilla movies. And there's a lot in here. It's like King Kong vs. Godzilla from 1962. All these really cool trailers. It doesn't sound that impressive now, but you have to remember, this was 1998. You couldn't just look this up on YouTube like you can now. So it's actually like a really nice, like, fan service-y sort of feature. It's pretty cool. Alright, so that's pretty much it. You know, it's bad, but it has its novelty. The novelty just wears thin pretty quickly. This game does actually have a cult following. There are people who really like it. It's kind of a unique Godzilla game. It's not a military sim. It's not a fighting game. You actually play as Godzilla and other recognizable figures, and you just free roam, stomp around, and break shit. You can play as some obscure characters like, you know, the 98 Godzilla, Manila, Dr. Serizawa. There's even some people who mod the game to put more recent incarnations of Godzilla in, like Shin Godzilla, which was the most recent Japanese Godzilla movie. So, you know, it has like its charm points, but in general, it pretty much sucks. Now, there is a sequel to this game, but I think we'll save that for another time. So, until then, keep watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. You basically have to be a digital prostitute on YouTube to succeed. So check out our Patreon, and we'll see you next time.